going on, guys? T2RX6 here, back for another Transformers review, and today we're taking a look at the United Frenzy and Rumble, or Rumble and Frenzy, whichever one you choose. I personally say Rumble Frenzy, because Rumble in G1 was purple. But yeah, whatever. Rumble and Frenzy, whichever one you want. And they are the little tanks, kind of little tank drones. They came out in United. We were supposed to get them in the US, and they never ended up coming, to many people's dismay. And I really wanted these guys, because I like a good Rumble and Frenzy, even if we don't have the appropriate sound wave to put them with. So this is their little tank mode, and you can hear they do have wheels underneath here that do allow them to move. Not that great. You're not going to be shooting them around the floor or anything like that, but yeah, it kind of works. For a little bit of articulation here, the turret here can actually turn 360 degrees around, which is nice. The guns here are on that clip system that was introduced with, like, I think it was Hunt for the Decepticons. So you got those clips, and they're on ball joints, which are a bit stiff to actually make move up and down without a little bit of extra effort. So I tend not to adjust them too much because I feel like there's potential for something to snap there. And finally, this little machine gun here and the drone eye can actually be rotated like this. So just a couple little articulation things here. So let's actually get to transforming this guy. And first I want to say, these little silver plates are going to be the bane of your existence, because they are what activates the pile driver gimmick. And pretty much the entire way through the transformation, you're going to see them popping or hear them popping. And it ultimately just boils down to that they are on a real hair trigger. You barely even have to touch them to make them spring out. So let's actually get this guy transformed. Super easy. Let's see how many times. I won't touch the silver. I'm going to be real careful with it. But let's see how many times it pops out, because even sometimes just the vibration of a piece will actually make it pop out. So anyway, once we got this split, let's take the front here and we're going to form his little arms like so. And I'm only going to do this for Red Rumble Frenzy here, because I don't feel that we need to do it twice. Now come around the back, and in the process all this stuff kind of unpegged anyway. Fold this on down and then fold his waist on down. And you'll see that makes his feet. And we'll just kind of flip out the actual foot and a heel spur here. And that's done. And then what we're going to do is come around here, flip this piece down to make his chest there. Then we'll take this, fold it on up like so. I am super surprised we haven't seen anything spring into action yet, but hey, that's good. Take this, rotate it on around to give him his, you know, over-the-shoulder cannon things that he had. And now, take this and kind of fold this on down and connect it on in. Oh, that time was my fault actually. And we'll flip this little piece out here like that. Bring this down, plug it on in, flip this around, and there we go. We've got Rumble in his robot mode, and he looks pretty good. Zoom in on the face there a little. Really nice face sculpt. Unfortunately, my blue one wasn't so lucky and is missing quite a bit of paint on his visor there. I'm gonna have to fix that at a later point in time. But it's not bad. The head does feel a bit small considering how broad the shoulders and everything are. So for articulation, it's not bad. The head is on a ball joint, so it's fairly expressive head. I really like the head sculpt. The arm is on a ball joint here, so you get the complete motion and, you know, a bit of side to side. It's a little hindered by all this junk that's on his arm, which is another problem, that when you try to do something with his arm, all this stuff has to come with it. And he does look like he has really short forearms based on that swivel, but with a little bit of extra work, you get the upper swivel to give him a much better looking elbow. No waist articulation, ball jointed legs, but oddly enough, seems to have the problem I have with the perfect effect, which is based on the squareness of the leg here. it kind of wants to spring back on its own. Knee also on a ball joint. Good rotation there. Pretty easy. You know, nothing to complain about there. So let's actually pull out Blue Frenzy Rumble here. I just wanted to show you can take the clip system here and you can kind of fold it up and make nice arm guns. I don't personally care for how this looks. I feel like it actually looks like he has some kind of, you know, disabled so let's pull out the blue one here just to show you that you can take these little clip systems and peg them onto the sides of his hands to give him guns like that. I personally am not a fan of how this looks because it actually ends up just looking like he's wielding a pair of those crutches that you see people who are unfortunately disabled using, and I get that same vibe from this type of setup. And one thing you'll notice is that, you know, while I showed you the springiness that, you know, you can get from the square joints, they're really quite weak in the legs, making them really difficult to do anything reasonable with. So maybe he needs the crutches. I don't know, because he doesn't stand very well. Let's bring the red one back and I'll show you what we can do with the pile drivers here. So basically what we're going to do is flip all this stuff in like that, and this is basically going to try to hide everything as best as we can, and make sure your shoulder didn't come unconnected. Flip this around, flip the pile driver down, like so, and in the process I hit the silver buttons so they pop out, and there you go. Now you got your Rumble or Frenzy with the pile drivers, and standing they don't touch the ground, but if you put them in that, you know, classic squat type pose, which I do like that the head can actually look up enough to kind of see what he's doing while he's, you know, pounding some ground there. Yeah, it's not bad. Look how weak this leg is. That is horrible. It shouldn't be like that. But yeah, these guys are okay. I paid, I believe, $50 for them, and I don't really feel that they were worth it. Frankly, I wish they came out in the US and we could get them for, you know, $8 or $10 a piece, so we could get them both for 20 bucks or less. That would make me much happier. 50 is really not worth it, and certainly the club premium price on Eject and Rewind are probably not going to be worth it. The other thing to point out is we've also got Perfect Effect, which it's weird for me to say that these guys aren't really worth their $50, $60 and these guys are much more expensive, but I feel they are worth it. But for some reason I feel like these guys have just a lot more personality, though they do have their own problems. Ones that I tried to do a video review on once and just didn't like how it ended up turning out, so I scrapped it. I might have to go back and revisit it. But yeah, I kind of like these guys better. I like the Target Master. I use Music Label Soundwave on my shelf as my Soundwave of choice, so these guys scale nicer with him. But yeah, I personally would go with Perfect Effect over these guys unless we get them for a really good price. But I don't know if that's necessarily going to happen. So this is T2RX6. I hope you guys enjoyed the review, and I'll see you next week.